Hi guys, happy Monday. I hope everyone had a productive day or you had a fun weekend, and if you didn't, I'm sorry. I hope better days are coming. So, like, really do check in with me and let me know how your journey is going because I would like to help as much as I can or give insight. So, today I got to thinking, after spitballing with a conversation with my mom, who is, in a sense, my sounding board, is who I talk to about my spiritual stuff. And we got on to talking about what I think or what we think you as an individual undertaking this journey or having these things, um, you should have. And so you have a kit per se, and this is going into chakra work as well. So really making your own chakra kit, if that makes any sense. So I have my own kit, and I bought this a couple years ago, and I don't use it. And so this really helps when you have blocked chakras and you can't push energy in to your own root or any system that you have going on that's blocked, that's not working. And my kit specifically, I have yet to replace, and I don't feel like replacing because I don't use, is this is red jasper. And I think the first time or second time I ever used this, it split. And so my mom was saying, she's like, well, you must have had something really nasty in your root for it to split. As you can see, like it just split right down the middle. But you have this. This is a root. This is your heart, your solar plexus, your sacral, your, amethyst, which is your higher intuition. It could interplay depending on how you want between your third eye, or it's traditionally the ruler of your crown. And you have your indigo, which is a type of blue, purple, whatever. And so, what I wanted to talk to you about, if you don't have a specific stone or a specific color, you can take quartz, like a clear quartz. It could be something like this that's polished, it's smooth. Or you can have something like this, which is still equally smooth, but it's not as shaped. As you can see, it's not as man-made, if you were to be. So anyways, you can program this crystal, being that it houses so many different colors of the rainbow or different spectrums of light. When you hold it up to the light, you can bend, and see all the prisms, in this prism. You can see the rainbows. So you can program your crystal to take the place of another. And it's perfectly fine. You're not going against all of that. And sometimes you have to do that. I mean, I've done it before. It's not easy, but it's basically sitting there when you meditate and be like, okay, Crystal, like I need a third eye. I don't have indigo, I don't have this, and no blue or purple stone intermixed is calling my name. Will you please be the stone for my third eye? Or vice versa. Or saying, I don't have a root stone for my chakras. Please take the place and be my new root crystal. And you just sit there and just will it to happen and infuse that. And so then I got to thinking, how many people actually have Googled or, I don't know, watched videos and they break down how to clean your rocks? So I wanted to do this. I wanted to get you set up on what you can do to create your own kit and give you the fundamentals of how to do so. So in a sense, we're going to start off. So I have a bowl of water, and normally I would do this in the sink, but I just was like, I'm not going to take the camera into the bathroom. I'm not going to do any of that. So I have a bowl of, it's tempered. It's pretty lukewarm, and I have my towel, and because we're really working on a root chakra, I thought, you know what? Let's do green. So I have assembled a little thing. And as you can see, I'm not joking. I have assembled this giant mess of sorts on this table to get you started. So, my first thought was, how many of you actually have stones laying around that you don't have to go to the store or crystal shop and be mindful how you buy things or you consume things? So, if you have different colored stones laying around, you can make your own kit and just get little satchels, whatever it may be, like green, here's velvet, gold. When I actually started doing all this, this is actually my medicine bag. And so my mom was deeply influenced by the teachings of Native American, like teachings or whatever. And so when we needed something, we would tell her, she would pick out the stone, she would cleanse it, charge it, and she would wrap it for us, and she would tell us, okay, so put this by your bed. Either it's between your headboard and the mattress, or put it between, you and your pillow, or the pillow, whatever. And so this was our little dream bag. It was whatever stones we needed to pull out or something. And so I really was thinking, this is a great way to give back, to stay where I started. And so, first off, we're going to clean. So I have garnet for red. So all you do is imagine your bowl. If you have running water, it's the best because you're not going to accumulate it. So it's, in a sense, like, imagine your stones that you've picked up, even if they're clean or not. Imagine they have dirt on them, and you're rinsing them off in water, and you're basically pouring all of that dirt and just energy that's been collected by someone else, if they've touched it or it's accumulated on the shelf or wherever you have gotten it. It's accumulated energy that is not negative, but it's not good either. So it's just neutral. And so we want positive ions coming in and basically electrifying and energizing these stones. So in a sense, just imagine you're rinsing off all this water, all this gunk that are on your stones, and just go from there. So in a sense, it doesn't take very long. Just some stones like calcite or anything like black kyanite, which I don't have on me right now, but this is blue kyanite, which is the same thing. It's a very flimsy type of mineral, and you can see if you get selenite wet, you get kyanite wet, or you get anything that you're not supposed to put in water, like Himalayan salt, it's just gonna basically absorb into the water. You're gonna have just a mineral mess in there. And so make sure when you buy something or you get something, to really make sure that the rocks or the crystals that your minerals that you have gotten can be put in water, because some rocks just don't like it. And I'm saying this is raw amethyst, so I mean obviously it's been shaped, and this is a lot lighter than normal because there is pink amethyst. So as you can see, there is purple in there, but this is more of a pink color. So I personally would not recommend getting this put in water. Same thing with this. This is raw amethyst. And as you can see, it's a very mineral-esque. So I don't recommend doing that. So we have actual amethyst right here. So this is a very dark color. This is more of an indigo color. And so we'll do that, and we'll just speed it up, do whatever. When we get to the heart, I have two different stones that you can use. Traditionally, we see chakra stones and the heart stones as green. And so I have aventurine. You can use jade, green jade. You can agate, green agate. Any stone that's green you can use, traditional in a sense. Or, I don't know why. So this is rose quartz. Rose quartz is a very touchy-feely type stone. It's self-love, it's divine love, it's mother's love. This is a very loving stone. So you can use that in place if you don't have any green on hand, but you have rose quartz. You can use that as your heart. This is a type of citrine. I think this is yellow. It looks orange sometimes because of the different colors, but this is citrine, which is meant to be your solar plexus. And your solar plexus are really your core, where it sits is by your belly button, like right here. So it sits like right here in your abdomen area. And so this is like your little ball of sun. This is your battery-esque type situation. This is red carnelian, and it looks orange. It's red. So this is going to take the place because it looks orange. It can be interchangeable with the root. It can do all this. So we're going to use this as our sacral because I have garnet as that. So we have all of this. We've cleansed it. Again, I have lapis as my throat. You can use blue laced agate. You can use anything blue. Blue kyanite too. It just depends on what stone calls for you. Now, when I say what stone calls for you, if you hold it up and you have a warm tingling sensation, usually you use your less dominant hand. So with me, I'm a right hand dominant person. So I use my left hand because it's a lot more sensitive and I get more results. So with that being said, a lot of the times people will feel, if you put your hand out like this, like if I meditate or I'm touching something, a stone like this, I will have it in this hand so I can feel. But if I can't feel anything, I'll cleanse my hands, I'll wash them in actual water and, lightly dry them and go from there. So this is really talking about if you meditate, right, or you're using stones to recharge you, always, in this sense, this is my give hand. You know what I mean? Because I'm saying this is my receive hand and this is my give. So if I'm meditating personally, I will go like this to basically pull in energy in this hand and release energy in this. So it's the same way. So always make sure if you're using your receiving hand that if you have points or just stones in general, that this is facing towards your body versus, and when you're giving back, you need to have it pointing at wherever you're giving it to. So we have that done. And again, it doesn't matter what type of stones you have, as if they call to you in your chakra set, or if you choose to have a chakra set, you can make your own instead of buying them, because I find regular chakra sets are kind of just, they're expensive for no reason. I get their stones and they're accumulating. I think for this, I spent like $40 on like little points at my local shop. So, wholesale, you're going to spend a lot more versus buying loose stones, So really be in mind of what your budget is and don't overconsume, soon, because you're going to have problems eventually. So next, we have your sage kit. Now, you can make your own sage. You can bind it. I have loose sage. This is a sage bundle or whatever that's been bound. It's been put together. And so you really can have your own. You can make it. You can buy it. I find white sage is expensive, being the fact that it is an endangered species. So you're only allowed to harvest, along with Palo Santo, you're allowed to harvest if it's dead or it's fallen off loose. And so now that we have that, here is loose. It's not white sage. This is blue sage. And my mom will go out to the desert and give back either tobacco from a cigarette that she is personally given free, or strands of her hair, as a sense to say, hey, thank you. And I know that sounds archaic to be like, why would you pull your own hair out? A lot of the times it's a cigarette, and this goes back to the Native American way, being the fact that natives, some cultures within the Native American community at that time, they loved tobacco. So yeah, giving back to that spirit, giving back to the land, giving back. So you can bind, and eventually I would like to do so and teach you how to make your own, because there are so many different types of smudge sticks out there. And you can do whatever. So when you're saging or you're smudging, is to let it really be known that your intentions are good. Your intent is to clear the stones and clear your space. And again, a lot of spiritual people will say, oh, if the smoke goes up or it goes this way or it goes that way, there's a meaning. So if it's up, your energy is clear. If you go north, you have, wisdom. It really, and then a south is you have a regeneration, you have a shift coming. Your transmutation, you're more passionate, you're sending love. The east, if it goes the other way, it's been moved through, so it's pushing the energy away. And this is west. If it's coming at you, you have purification that you need done, or transformation that is happening within you that you need purified. So it's really purifying you. So please smudge, please clean our chakra stones that we just cleaned. Thank you. So another thing, so I'm just trying to be mindful, being that abalone is something that we keep our sage, our smudge. This is sweetgrass. It's basically an enticement. It's like candy to spirits to say, hey, thank you, like, for borrowing this, energy. Thank you for this. And it's really enticing spirit, and saying, hey, thank you, I give back this. And it's, in a sense, it's like giving candy to a child. You know what I mean? It makes them happy. It's showing you. And you can use sweetgrass. You can use incense. You can use Palo Santo. Like, mind you, Palo Santo is a bit expensive. So is sage. Sweetgrass is kind of if you know where to get it. We have a local place that we go to, and it's not as expensive. For a braid, looking at like $10, and it's a big braid. It's like a foot or two, and we use it a lot. We sage a lot. We smudge a lot. So basically, whatever you can do in your repertoire and how you feel, then do it. So I've given back sweetgrass. I've given back Palo Santo and abalone. So abalone is, in a sense, a mollusk. It's a shell. Oh, and I'm like all over the place. You can use cinnamon too, if you don't have either, and if you have cinnamon sticks. To me, these are known as canela. Anybody that knows my family, or you don't know my story, I grew up, my dad is of Mexican descent, and my grandmother, her grandparents came from Mexico, and she grew up in California. And so, with her being Mexican, during the winter, she would make canela, which is cinnamon tea with orange, or various different things. So, I grew up in calling cinnamon sticks canela sticks. And so, it's one of the things that you can do to basically enhance. And cinnamon is great for inflammation, if anybody needs to know that, or you don't know that. So yes, you can, give up cinnamon as a thank you. It's up to you personal. It's what you have on hand, what you want to buy, what do. Okay, abalone. So in Indian mythology, specifically native peoples, it doesn't matter. Abalone, they would burn sage in our abalone. And it was basically like a transmuter. They thought that abalone would basically strengthen their message to the spirit realm, to whatever spirit they were praying to for whatever reason. And so, really adding on to that now, abalone is an endangered species as well. So you may not be able to get a bowl like this. These were given to us. My grandfather, when he was living in California as in his 20s and 30s, used to dive off the coast where he was in, like, up and down Santa Barbara and just various different places out. Used to dive for abalone. He was a diver. So he collected some that he had found that didn't have an animal inside. So we were very fortunate for him to give us some of these. And so that is how my family, according to just different sources, have gotten these massive shells, because those are expensive. You can find something like this and it's going to be like $10 to $20, or a small little vessel that's like this. But if you don't have abalone and you don't want to dish out, a microwave, a heat-proof, safe bowl will do the process. It really depends on your liking. So it's up to you. But in Apache, going back to the whole native thing, the Apache tradition is they had, in their mythology speaking, they had a woman known as the White Painted Woman. And with her, she rode an abalone vessel, a shell or whatever. She survived the Great Flood into it. And in return, she was impregnated by the sun and the rain. Yeah, I have my notes. The sun and the rain. And so to mark that, women of the Apache traditions, they will undergo something called the sunrise ceremony. And they use this purification of this abalone to mark their passage into womanhood. So I was just like, I was blown away when I researched that, because I knew that Indians would smudge in it, Native Americans, it's not very PC. Native Americans would smudge in these shells, and this was just something that I grew up doing. So we have that. If you want to give up incense, I honestly think the different parts of your kit should include just different things like Palo Santo or sage or sweetgrass or cinnamon, depending on what. And if you really want to dish out, this is frankincense. And there's many different types. There's Jerusalem frankincense, which is red, that comes from Jerusalem or near Jerusalem. There's this is Ethiopian. There's just a bunch of stuff you can get. I personally like the smell of frankincense. To me, it smells so good. You can get myrrh. You can get regular incense sticks from, Walmart or wherever you go shopping, they have it. So we're talking about that. And I have papers. Again, back to the whole smudging thing. You have many, many different smudges, and of course, the material that's used to bind these are completely different. They actually have a meaning. There is a color behind it. Bay leaf, if you add it, lavender, you can add into it. It doesn't matter. Whatever you find your median, if you want to make your own sage. Here's white sage. You have juniper, which is ritual and purification to invigorate the mind and the body when tired. Lavender, cleansing, psychic protection, increasing clairvoyance, creating energy and happiness, healing. Mugwort traditionally cleanses energies to get rid of the negativity. Stimulating dreams. You have cedar, you have rosemary, you have Palo Santo. So it really depends on what you are. Like I said, if you wanted bay leaf is really good for psychic awareness, and it says sleeping with bay leaf under your pillow can cause prophetic dreams. Burning it with incense can promote vision. Write a wish, a question on your bay leaf, then burn it, conveying to the spirit realm. If the leaf cracks and it burns brightly, then an outcome will be positive. If the leaf refuses to burn or smoke, then the outcome is negative. So you have that. Let's talk about protection stones. I know a lot of times people are like, oh, what's a good protection stone? What's doing this? So there's many different types of protection stones. I touched on smoky quartz. I touched on lapis, black tourmaline. Apache tears, this is black tourmaline, which is really great. I have onyx. Basically anything black will work wonders. So this is onyx. Onyx is actually really good for your third eye as well. And this is smoky quartz. And smoky quartz just is like regular quartz. It's very purifying. Another thing is labradorite. Now, labradorite is, in a sense, it has all these different rainbows. You can get it different colors. There's blue, there's green, there's purple. I've seen rainbow. This is more rainbow. I don't know if you can see this, as you can see. And then obsidian. This is Apache tier, which is snowflake obsidian. So regular obsidian, turquoise. So turquoise is really good, not only for your throat, your third eye, whatever. It's a great protection stone. Keep in mind though that there is such a thing as real turquoise, and there are many different colors. There is turquoise that is what we see. We have green turquoise, we have red turquoise, and then you have the sneaky little people, what they call painted turquoise. Now, painted turquoise is painted howlite, and howlite is just a form. It's cheap. It's basically, in a sense, it's like fool's turquoise. There is properties. Another thing, again, lapis. There's tiger's eye. You can get them in bracelets, beads, whatever. Here is actual stones that we have. But yeah, so to tell the difference, and I'm not saying just do this, because please don't, like, you can get in so much trouble for this. With painted howlite, painted turquoise, if you scratch off a little ding or whatever and it turns white, it is painted howlite, because regular turquoise does not do that. So keep in mind, be very mindful, really dig into your sources. I mean, you have books, you have crystal sites, like crystal meaning properties, things like that. So another thing that I really think you should have is Himalayan salt. So this is great, Himalayan salt. This is what used to be a salt lamp. As you can see, it doesn't have the bulb in there or the cord. This again, rose quartz. This is pink, the pink calcite, which is pink Magano. A lot of the times, pink calcite will be so really check your sources where it comes from. I think this comes from Madagascar. And what the cool thing about this is, if you hold it up to a UV light, which would be this, just it's pink, you can't really see it, it looks white. If you hold it under a UV light, it turns a magenta color, which is, I thought was very cool when I bought it. Is calcite. Not calcite. Selenite. So selenite you cannot get wet. So there's many different forms of like selenite. You can get it in, say, a pebble form, palm stone. You have a cathedral. This is a very small one. You can get it in tea lights or something. You can get them in actual dishes. You can get them in sticks. And a lot of the times you see, if you have chakra wands, you will see that sometimes this is incorporated and it's wrapped. So I honestly do think you should have these things at your disposal. And I'm telling you, we're still learning, we're still adapting, and I'm going through a lot of information that will come into play eventually, because I do want to touch on the different faiths, not religious aspects, but things of faith that really intertwine with spirituality. The Wiccan, the different forms of Wiccan, the different forms of Druidism, spirituality. You have all these different aspects of the spiritual side that a lot of the times you see a lot of people, New Age, they'll be like, oh, I'm a witch, I'm a practicing witch, or I'm a practicing Wiccan, or I'm a practicing this, and that. So a lot of times when people think spirituality, specifically with me, and I get this a lot, and this is really annoying to me, is be like, oh my god, I didn't know you were a Wiccan. Like, I'm not. I don't mean to throw shade at the Wiccan community or anybody that is. I'm personally not. I'm straight spiritual, even though it's interrelated. A lot of things with voodoo, with tarot. I've actually had someone say, oh my gosh, like, don't you practice voodoo? I've never practiced voodoo. And this goes to say, when you have these spiritual tools, please be mindful about what is going on in the world and what is going on in the spiritual community, what is going on within you. But I will tell you, and even my dad asked me this, was, oh, you do tarot, so is that kind of like on a Ouija board? Now, the story behind that is, when him and my mom were married, my mom actually had a board, and they had a communication, and they burnt the board. They've tried burying it, and it just came back until they finally just got rid of it. And I personally, that alone was like, nope, not for me, because of divination or any type of divination board or divination tool. Things can go wrong. So if you're playing with that and you're on the fence and you're dabbling, things will come out. So with an Ouija board, I personally know too many horror stories, not from the movies, but horror stories where they open a line of channel and this spirit comes out and it doesn't want to go back. So it wreaks havoc for these people. It is parasitic. It's energy vampirism. It's all these different things that you have if you're not careful. So anybody who plays with an Ouija board or uses it in their practice, good for you. But keep in mind, do it in the right sense. Do it for the right reasons and actually know your limits and make sure that you properly close that channel and send whatever came through that board or that divination tool, send it back. Tell it there is no basis for it to be in a sealed environment. It needs to go back through the channel. It needs to go back into the spirit realm. And I'm telling you this because I hate reading or hate hearing people say, oh, I did this and for a year things were just not good. So really is know your boundaries. Please know your boundaries and know that things can happen, not to you but to other people. And energy vampirism is another thing. So if you feel constantly drained, black tourmaline is a very good protection stone. Obsidian is a good protection stone. It's a clarifying. Personally, I will tell you, and this popped into my head, was if you are going to do something with your heart, please, if you don't know what you're doing, please do not get malachite. Malachite is a mood enhancer. So if you're already in a bad mood, malachite will make it 10 times more amplified. You will project. If you're in a good mood, it will do the same. It will project into that. Raw malachite is actually extremely poisonous if inhaled or ingested. So, don't eat it. Don't smell it. Don't do anything. It's extremely poisonous. So please do your research on the crystals that you bring into or the tools that you bring in, because a lot of things can happen badly if you don't do your research and you actually stick to your boundaries. So thank you for watching. I hope this clears up anything. This is personally what I have in my kit or around the house, and this is how I do it. Now, when it comes to cleansing, I can't even talk. When you're cleansing this, you've smudged, you've done this, there are 2 types of energy, well, 3. You can, because selenite absorbs it, and you don't have to clean selenite, you can basically smudge it and be like, okay, thank you. Selenite, if you actually are going to charge it in the moonlight. So what I do personally is there is a 6-day window between a full moon, and being a full moon is at its fullest. There's so much energy. It's an energy portal. So basically make sure you set boundaries saying that no negative energy can come into this, because it will harbor that. So anyways, selenite, amethyst. If you, amethyst, being that it fades, as you can see, this is more pink as it is. Amethyst will actually, if you've seen my generator, the tip of my generator, which is for amethyst with a pyramid, I've had that for like 4 or 5 years. Amethyst will fade in sunlight, so charge it at night. Lapis, you can do that. I find any type of stone that is black that absorbs this, charging it, especially with tourmaline or smoky quartz, charging it at night, especially on a full moon, works great. Other than that, stones that, like lapis, or citrine, or anything, even smoky quartz, you can do it at night. It's versatile. It's up to you. So basically, do your research and see how you can do it. I know tiger's eye, you can do it. I personally, if it's a warm, sunny day, I can do that and just basically clean my rocks, clean this, and then set them out on the deck and let them charge all day, and then take them out before I go to bed. So that's on a warm, sunny day, or, summer. But personally, if it's cold out, like it's in the winter and you're cold, I will basically put a table or a little ledge thingy, and I'll set it up in the window, and I'll let that charge collect the rays, or I'll set it on selenite depending if I need it right away or, within a few hours, and just basically charge it. So that is the way you can charge, you can clean, you can do all this, you can collect things. I hope this is very insightful. So if you have these stones just laying around, it's a great way to put your kit together. It's just various different tools that I've collected over the years that I would like to pass on to people. So you're not spending a lot of money buying things when you can make these kits or you can add to it. So basically be very mindful about how you consume things. Be very mindful about the stone trades and how your stones came about. You can buy them from crystal shops, but just know if they're buying wholesale from someone, they're buying it from another source. So be very mindful about how you can. I know another source you can buy if you don't have a crystal shop is the Russian store. You can buy things on Amazon. Just be very wary about buying on sites, but there are crystal sites. I know there's like the Crystal or the Stone Lady on Facebook. My mom buys from her. But the Russian store is something that we've bought for many different numerous times. So whatever works for you is not going to work for someone else. So please, please be mindful about everything that you do, what you say, what you do, all that, and just continue to incorporate these tips and these tricks and into your spiritual journey. Because what I say may not resonate with you, it may resonate with someone else. But this was just my way of potentially giving back in case you haven't seen anywhere on social media or anywhere on the internet how to give up, how to sage, how to do this, or how to clean your rocks, or how to clean them. Or I'm rambling at this point. So you have resources at your disposal. You just have to be an internet sleuth, or you can message me and I will let you know. Thank you for watching. I hope you all have a beautiful Monday. Have a good evening. And I will see you again here in a few days with a couple videos. So thank you so much for watching.